Thanks, Nick.
I think you should be good.
Am I live now?
And your phone mic is on. I turned it off. I got it.
Okay.
You're good.
Should I start over?
Yeah, I think so.
Was I talking and nobody was hearing me? Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sunset Stitches. My name is Trevor Conquergood, and this is my kid, Leo Conquergood. And over here is Nicholas Conquergood. And we're super excited because it's Friday. And at Friday at Sunset Stitches, we always celebrate by giving away a free font. And so it's the end of the week, and everybody's excited for the weekend. Up here in Canada, it's the long weekend, you guys. It's the May long weekend. Somebody's birthday is on the May long weekend every year. It's the Wren's birthday coming on. Well, the 21st is their birthday. But so I'm sorry about the funny start with the microphone. And thank you, Nicholas, for helping me say hi to Cheryl and Janita and Marilyn and Cindy and Phyllis and Sharon and all you guys that are coming in now. Kathy, Bruce. So great to see you guys. We're actually going to make a t-shirt today and give it away. And so the t-shirt we're going to give away, we decided, is we're going to make one. And if it turns out perfect, we'll give that one away. If not, this is my backup. It says, oh, you can't really see it on the camera. Here, let me get some Jesus. Yay, I did the Jesus. Do you remember when you went to summer camp and they had that was very kind of prominent symbolism there. So yeah, it was me. It was my microphone, you guys. Shake it off. We were, you know why? Because we have my second phone. We've hooked my phone up because we're going to go in the studio and make stuff today. All right. So it's not just going to be sitting in front of Trevor's computer. All that said, so before I forget, every week we give away a little prize at Sunset Stitches, and I've been giving away for several weeks now postcards, and so these are actually last week's winners postcards. I'm sad to say that Sandy Ludwig, here's your postcard. I haven't stuck it in the mail yet, but it's about to go. And Chris Vick, same thing, your postcard on my desk, but they're ready to go. So they're all stamped up and everything. But these ones here are for our new winners. And so I need you guys to tell me your postal address. Nicholas, thank you so much for helping me figure out the winners. We did an extra winner this week because I had done some funny little Facebook reel trying out, and said if you commented on my reel, you could have a chance to win. Well, the winner to that one is Mary Spencer. Thank you so much for commenting on our reel, Mary. We're going to send you a postcard. If you could please email us your it's Trevor at sunsetstitches.com. If anybody doesn't know, Nicholas, can you type that into the chat for them?
And I also private messaged.
Oh, and Nick said he private messaged you guys too. So thank you, Nick. Kathy, Lauren, you also are a winner. You are from our last week. So every week, the people that comment on our Facebook or our YouTube, we pick a winner from you guys. And so our winner from YouTube is Cindy Zach Ball. So Cindy, you are a winner also. And so that is awesome. We have 3 new postcards to send out.
She's the one that needs to email Facebook. You can private message.
Well, I know Cindy Zach Ball. She's one. I recognize her name because I know that she's a member of our Workshop 4 classes. And so if I have to, Nick, I can email her because I know I have her email. But there's my email there in the chat, you guys, if you're looking for it. But okay, so I don't want to waste too much time talking about all the great things we do here every week because there's lots of them. Of course, if you didn't miss it, Loren and I at DigiTalk this week, Loren's Flowers. Loren's been doing these cool. If you check us out on Wednesday, Loren and I are digitizing. Nicholas and Loren and I are hanging out doing designs. And these were free designs that Loren made for our class. And I, of course, did a bunch of Winnie the Pooh, and I've done several Pooh designs now, right? That we're working on a whole collection of Winnie the Pooh. So all that said, you guys, we're not talking about any of that anymore. We're going to get right to it. Before I go off the computer and get Loren to film me making the stuff. I want to quickly show you the photos, but I don't want to take too much time showing them, because if I don't get the machines going, we won't have these things finished. We only have an hour. So let's see if we can bring my photos bigger, Nick. So the font of the week is called Clean, and I will show you how you get that after we get the machines going. So we'll come back to our font of the week, and I'm going to show you how to digitize this stuff while the machines are running. But what I wanted to show you guys was this. It's coming. Okay, so these are just some of the shirts that we have made, and this is how I made it. Now, essentially, we're going to use sticky stabilizer, and my favorite has been the sticky cutaway. If you don't use a sticky cutaway, you're going to have to use some cutaway. So if you want to use a sticky tearaway, you could combine that with a cutaway, like a mesh or something. You could hoop a mesh in a sticky tearaway. You know, the sticky would have to be the one on top, because you want to be able to stick. The most important thing of doing this is being able to stick down the shirt. Otherwise, you're going to end up with troubles with the shirt shifting while it's embroidering the little second color, or I guess the last color, you know, the detail color. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to, you know, this is just an extra bit. I have to make everything extra, I guess. You don't have to do this part, you guys. But what I did was I showed myself, where's the RNK going to go? And I put pins in it. And then I kind of like removed the paper, the waxy kind of protective paper, just from that spot. I didn't take it all off. This is totally optional, you guys. I could have just peeled out. I could have made a big X, peeled out all the sticky, and just stuck my foam down. But you got to know where you're sticking the foam anyway. So I just used a printed template to help me find it, is all I'm saying. I printed a template. I could use the kind of crosshairs on my template to show me where's the center of my hoop. And I just stuck 4 pins in to say, that's this chunk of foam. And like I said, if you just want to peel the whole thing open, the benefit of doing this is when I'm removing my foam, I'm not kind of de-sticking
the sticky part.
Yeah, because it kind of becomes less sticky every time you touch it. And so that's why. Okay, so I peel that open, and I literally use the piece that I cut out to cut the foam out. So I know that I got a foam that's just that big. You know, I didn't waste any. And then, of course, I embroider the text, right? And this one, I just want to say, would you grab a couple of those hunks for me? Nick, can you bring me big again? The ones just right here, just grab like a big one and a little one so that I can explain. There's the foam comes in thicknesses, you guys.
Like this?
Yeah, thank you. And so this was me sampling, and notice how much thicker, you know, these, you know, you can get the small craft foams, call this the 2 mil or the 3 mil stuff. This is the easy stuff, highly successful. Almost anybody will get perfect results regardless. Very easy to do. The thicker the foam, it gets a little more challenging with removing it, was the main thing. But you can see I did my initials a bunch of times. But the thicker the foam, the more dramatic the look. So I think people are going to want to do the thicker stuff. And so I'm going to show you how to do the thicker. We're going to do thicker stuff right now. Okay. So thank you, Nick. So basically this is me removing the foam. And when we get there, I'm going to show you my little technique to removing it. But essentially I'm actually using my, what is this? A tweezer, you know, the precision angle tweezer from RNK. Those ones like help me kind of make sure that it comes apart. It was really easy to do. Now, see all the messy threads? You can avoid those if you have a machine that allows you to turn off your thread sensor. Then for the color that cuts out the foam, you could turn off your thread sensor and just use the needle only, you know, because the needle will cut the foam. And then, but that said, these threads are in between the shirt and the stabilizer. You'll never see them. Like they're not really noticeable is what I'm saying. I would go tone on tone. Like if this was going to be a white shirt, I wouldn't be putting dark thread underneath. You know, if you're going to go a red shirt, maybe use red thread. Or I did a blue shirt, so I did blue thread. So you can't notice it at all. And remember, the key to this was I chose the sticky cutaway, not a sticky tearaway. Sticky tearaway would be fine, and I did test that, but you would have to add a layer of cutaway because you need to have a layer of cutaway in this project, or else the foam won't stay. The shirt will eventually have no foam behind it because then, you know, you need that cutaway stabilizer to sew the two together. Okay, so Now I'm removing the rest of the sticky. See, once I finished kind of weeding out all the chunks of foam that I had to take out, I remove it. And this is the key to doing it, is really doing a good job of sticking the shirt down. First of all, if you're doing it on a shirt, you got to get it centered and straight. But then you kind of start sticking in the middle and kind of work your way towards the outside. And I actually try and purposely crease in between all the letters. So, that's what it looks like when I'm sewing the lines that go around the outside. Like that. So yeah. And now I'm done. I'm out of the hoop. I'm popping the hoop off, and I'm carefully kind of removing the shirt from the sticky because it's just stuck on. It's really easy to pull the shirt off. And now I got my special little scissors that I'll talk about. They have a nice little rounded edge to protect your shirt so you don't get a hole in it. And then I try to remove as much of the stabilizer as I can, especially if there's like little areas like the inside of the N and the R, because it kind of relaxes the fabric a little bit in that area and lets it be. This looks like they're creases, but it's really just movable. It's kind of flexible. Well, as you can see, I'm wearing that shirt now. Anyway, we're going to do the Jesus shirt right now, you guys. Same deal. See, I didn't bother with that first bit. This time I just removed all the sticky, stuck a hunk of foam where I thought it would fit, and then I obviously sewed the first color, which the color will kind of remove it. And and then we do the sticking the shirt down and sew on the second color. So it's pretty much as easy as that. There's lots of variables, and when we come back in a minute to the software, I will talk about the settings that I used and the steps that I used. I will say there's one optional bit that I chose not to do for the Jesus fish that I did do for the lettering. And that is the capture stitch. So when I add the capture stitch, it sews the inside of the letters, and I use a really long stitch length so it doesn't really cut the foam out. It just makes sure that the foam is well held so that when I'm removing the foam after the second color, and it's the second color that is the one that I said you could remove the thread from the needle, and we'll even do that on the Dream Machine if you want. We can, that's an option on the Dream. I actually find the thread helps cut the foam though. Like I did find that it worked better when I used thread in the needle than when I tested it without, but it is, if you take the thread out of the needle, it does clean it up. After that second color, just give me 1 second, Nick. After that second color, then you're going to sew the third color, which is, now you have an option. Do you want to do a bean stitch? Do you want to do single run? Do you want to do some fancy stitching? I think that lots of options could be on the table. Did you have a question, Nick?
Matthew wants you to re-say the brand and type of foam that you used.
I will. Sure, Kathy. Thanks. And the other thing I want to point out before we leave here is and I'm going to show you how to do this, but I just want you to notice that I have the I did a 3-ply bean stitch around the outside. I did a 0.5 cutting stitch and a 4mm kind of capture stitch, and I have offsets built in. This final offset is 1mm, and it's so important to getting it successful. You can't just, I didn't find that I was as successful when I just did copy and paste and used the same line. You need to use the contour tool to make an offset. So we'll learn all about that in a minute. What I want to do, so I'm going to come to like bigger screen now. We're going to leave the screen entirely. In fact, we're going to go mobile. So you're on. Now, we're going to do 2 shirts. One of them is for Loren.
Yay! It
So
says Leo.
we're going to make it say Leo. I've already got the design loaded up on the Dream Machine. What, Nick?
Let me know when you want me to switch.
Yep. And we're going to do a Jesus shirt. And so how did we decide that you could win the Jesus shirt, Nicholas?
Hashtag embossed.
If you're attending live today, you could win the shirt that we're about to make. Okay. Hashtag EMBOSSED.
Embossed.
Embossed. Got it? Hashtag embossed. So if you type that into the thing, it has to be exactly that. Hashtag embossed. just like Marilyn just did,
Exactly.
then you are in to win, right? Everybody who, so, all right, I'm getting up. You can switch my computer on. We're going mobile.
Hi.
Flip.
How do I make it flip? Hi, guys.
I'm sorry, let me look at it. It's small. More settings, camera,
There we go.
back camera. Sorry, back, just back, dual wide, ultra wide. Like there's all these options. I don't know which one. How's that look?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Good. So come on in. Come on in, everybody. We're going into Sunset Stitches. The foam. All right. I should have got out all my foam because I have foam from all kinds of companies that I've collected over the years. I will say that the foam that I'm going to use on Loren's shirt, the one that I used on my shirt, is the thicker foam. It's a little stiffer. You know, it makes my shirt a little bit kind of like stiffer, but this is a lot softer. That's the one that I used on the Jesus shirt. And so that's what we're going to do over here. So to get started, I need to use the stabilizer. So the foam, the answer to the question about the foam is I got it from R&K Distributing, of course, because if you guys don't know, I work for R&K Distributing as the software manager. And of course, all of our fonts are made for the Floriani software. And if you don't have the Floriani software, you're probably going to want to get it after today because that's how you're going to be able to use all of the fonts that we make, as well as today's font is made as an asset file, you know, and I can show you guys how to access the designs. But of course, I'm going to show you how I do it. So regardless of what software you do have, you can totally make these things yourself. So this is perfect stick cutaway that I'm cutting up right now. And what I'm doing is just cutting a piece that's large enough to go into the hoop and then hooping it with the paper on. So having the paper on means that you don't get your hoop stuck together, right? Just hoop it up and make sure you get it all the way seated all the way to the bottom of the hoop. You know, don't leave it kind of halfway in there. Just get it all the way down. Now, aren't these cute? My little what is that? A pin cushion from there? You can actually wear them on your, like, if you're doing a lot of work, you can put them up here and wear them. But I'm not going to actually wear it. But I'm just going to make an X like that, and then I can pick up kind of the corner of my X like this and tear it away like that, and it's pretty easy to do. So this is a cutaway stabilizer. This perfect stick comes both cutaway and tearaway, and so I like it better in the cutaway. I mean, I like it both ways, but for this project, it's one layer of stabilizer. Why? Who wants to have two layers of stabilizer if you don't have to? This is made out of our cutaway medium. You guys, cutaway medium, this is so soft. Like if you could feel what I'm feeling right now, this is inside of my shirt right now. Like, look at me, Lorraine. This is inside of my shirt right now. I can't feel it. It's so soft. It's got, you know, there's always that little edge of cutaway that's remaining. So our sticky stabilizer is made on the same cutaway medium. And so when I say our, Sunset Stitches does not sell stabilizer, you guys. I'm just talking about R&K Distributing. So I'm ready to go, but I need to put the foam down, right? So I'm just going to stick the foam on there. And so this design, we'll come over to the Dream Machine here and load up the hoop. And I already have the design loaded on the screen, but you'll see it has 3 colors. And the first color is going to be the color of the capture stitch. Now, what color is your shirt?
Pink.
It's a pink shirt. Oh yeah, I forgot. I left it over there. Let me show. I was shopping for blanks yesterday and I thought maybe Loren would like a summery shirt. So I got him this shirt here, right? So so pink, so pick a color that you want to embroider it on, because I didn't ask you that ahead of time, and I feel like I have the wrong shade on the machine, Loren. So
The same color? Yeah.
you want tone on tone, or you can be totally contrast. It's not, that's like up to you. No pressure. A little contrast. I like it. Okay, so I just got to hoop up my everything's hooped up. Actually, I just got to
Thread the needle.
get her threaded, and we will be ready to rock. So what we're doing is we're sewing the capture stitch first. So I will push start right now, and it's going to sew on top. And while that's doing that, Loren, let's just take your shirt and let's pull these ones off. Here's the font of the week, right? The clean sunset, you know, nice one. And we got this was my first one that I did, and that was before I learned about moving the offsetting the stitches, and you can kind of sense it had a hard time getting to the bottom of that really tall foam. What I wanted to do here at the iron was just fold your shirt in half.
Yeah.
And try and find the center of the shirt because it'll make it easier for it. I'm assuming that I can put this in the center. Would you like it in the center?
Yes, of
I
course.
didn't ask you that part. Usually birthday presents, you just get them and you don't have to help make them.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm actually just putting a little iron to that spot so that I kind of have a visual. That's the center of the shirt, right? And this came unthreaded, Lorena. I have to rethread it. So let's come back. And then while we're at it, before we do any more on this one, I want to get that Jesus shirt set up because that one's going to take a minute to run too. So once this one's sewing, oh yeah, see my capture stitch here. We're going to back up because it didn't sew. It came unthreaded after the first E, and we weren't watching there. So I rethreaded it. I think that's because, and I'm just going to stop for a moment. Oh, look, it came unthreaded again. The foam is not self-healing like fabric. I need to stop this, not start it, and put my needle up. I'm going to rethread it, but so sometimes the thread comes out of the needle. I've noticed when I'm sewing with the foam, just that first couple stitches. So what you can do is just make your trail thread just a little bit longer. It helps that. What I wanted to say before I forget is because of the thickness of my foam, I had to also come to the machine's menu. I don't know if this will show on screen, but I touched it and I told it that I had a higher embroidery foot. If I'm just doing the smaller foam, I can make it like 1.5 or something like that. But when I'm doing this really tall foam, I found that I need to turn it up. 4 is what I've got it set at. You could even go to 5, and that's not wrong. So I think that also helps the machine understand the tension of the thread. So now we'll go ahead and push start again. And I'm missing a little bit of my capture stitch, but it's not the end of the world. Like it's gonna probably have a few stitches missing there. But if it mattered, I'd sew them back. But I don't think my foam's not going anywhere. I'm telling you, when I sew it, we're gonna be fine. So hopefully it catches this time. Yeah, there we go. So, oh no, so look at that. It didn't catch. Like a funny little thing. Hey, it comes. My needle. Oh, put my foot up for a sec. Yeah, here. Let's back her back up. Okay. And I had that happen when I did my testing and show them I did a bunch of this is so I never answered the question about the foam. R&K makes foam. We sell it in the smaller pieces now. This is a discontinued product where it came in bigger pieces. So nowadays I buy it in packs. You can get it. It's like this big or little packs. And they come in black and white and gray, and they come in the small thickness, and they also come in the thicker thickness. So what I have here is the embellished foam. It used to be called So Much Cosplay foam. That's what it was, and now it's called embellish foam. And so I'm just going to set this aside. I was going to say you can show them a few of the samples that I did. Not all these are perfect, because they were trying. There's so many amazing products that R&K has, and I trialed a lot of them to kind of pick out my favorites. So what I wanted to do now was get my stabilizer out and get the how's my time, Nick? 30 minutes in. So yeah, because if we don't get going, we're not going to get our
25 minutes.
pardon?
25.
Oh yeah. Do you have any questions or comments, Nick?
Can you show everybody while you're over there the different millimeters of foam again? I think you've done that before, but
Yeah, Loren's got it right there. Absolutely.
So this one is 3 millimeters,
2 or 3. I don't remember what they
2 or
call it.
3,
I should have got the packaging.
and then
All my foam is open and kind of in use, and I don't have like a package to show what they look like, But if you ask for embellish at any store that sells R&K, whether it's Floriani, Embellish, Quilt Select, can order the foam. Well, it probably has it. But if you don't have our foam, I'm sure that you could even go to like Michael's and buy craft foam. You guys, like they have all kinds of different foams there. So I don't think color matters so much here because the shirt really covers it. But that said, if you put a white shirt and red foam, I'm not going to say that's wrong, but you might see it. So maybe that's the point, though, I can't wait to see what the creative people are going to do with this idea and take it and run with it. But so here I've got my Jesus, the stabilizers ready to go, and I just need to kind of prepare a piece of foam. And so I usually just use my rotary cutter to cut it. And so I kind of know like my hoop is like 8 1/4 by 10 kind of thing. So here, let's do it this way. I need a bigger ruler right here. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 1/4. So approximately like that is my, it doesn't have to be, I'm not covering the whole hoop, so I'm kind of wasting a little bit, but I'm just making it easy on myself to have a piece that's approximately the size of our hoop, right? So here I need it to be around the 10 inches mark. So I'll just mark it like that, and then I'll cut it with my ruler. So like I said, it wasn't needing it to be quite that big, so I'm kind of probably wasting a little bit. Normally I print a template out, and I showed you guys how I did my printed template, and that kind of helps you to know exactly how much foam you need to cut out. But for this one, we're doing the Jesus shirt, so see what I'm saying? I just made a piece of foam that kind of covers the whole thing. That's fine. Nothing wrong with it. And this is the 2 or 3 mil foam, whatever it's called. I'm not sure technically the thin.
2 millimeter.
Let's just call them thin and thick. How's that? Thin foam, thick foam. This is the thin. We're going onto the machine. This machine is convenient for doing shirts because it's got the free arm abilities. I didn't bother with the capture stitch on this one. What color is this shirt?
Gray.
So why don't we put on another color for the I'll grab should we do tone on tone for the Jesus on the gray? Yeah, here's a nice kind of silvery gray. And that'll look nice.
I've got 2 questions for you, Dad.
Yeah, I'm all up for it, Nick.
Pam was asking, wouldn't cosplay foam wash better than craft foam?
Well, I'm glad you asked because the cosplay foam might wash better than craft foam. I don't know. The embellished foam that we sell as embroidery puffy foam is technically the same foam that we're working with today. That's what I'm working with. I just happen to have it in bigger pieces. But the point is, I think that the stuff from the commercial embroidery foam, the one that people buy, from the Gunal type companies, those tend to be a little bit denser. I tested washing because somebody asked me if it washes well, and I said, you know what, I don't know for personally. So I washed the gray shirt that we made last week. Can you see the super small stitches? Like that's to cut it out, right? So it's a very short stitch length on our Jesus shirt to cut that out. So let's get the Leo shirt going here now. So the next color, this is what I was saying, was you could turn the thread off, take the thread out of the needle. But because we're using the thick foam, my preference is to leave it in your shirt. I'm going to leave it on. But if you would turn your menu again and you would go to the turn off your thread sensor. Like if you want to sew with a needle and not have thread in it. Because if you don't, it's just going to stop and say, there's no thread in the needle. So, okay, let's go ahead and leave the thread in the needle and go ahead and get it started. Here, I see me like pulling it longer. I was just kind of like, I don't want it to come unthreaded again. So I'll hold this one until it gets going. And so look at it. Is it sewing? Yeah, it's literally burying that thread into there because it's such a thick piece of foam, but it's actually cutting that foam out while it's sewing. So that's happening. This is happening. And so, did you have a question, Nick? Oh, could you use the magnetic? You're okay.
Could you use the magnetic hoop doing this?
I imagine you could use any hoop that you wanted to. I don't have a magnetic hoop myself, so I'm not going to speak from experience, but I can't see any reason why you couldn't use a magnetic hoop. It's very easy to do the sticky stabilizer because you're not going to be hooping the shirt. We're just going to be sticking our shirt on top. And so this is Leo's shirt, and when Leo's shirt's ready, we'll be sticking that on. And in a moment, the Jesus shirt's going to come off, and we're going to be weeding both, right? And in just a few moments, we're going to. Can you guys hear me okay while these machines are running like that? We've never done this before, you know. This is a new Facebook Live for us at Sunset Stitches, right? Right, Nick? Yeah. Okay, so let me know, like, is it really hard to hear? I'll watch the replay myself because I'm going to want to know how it goes. But I said I would go back on screen, and so, but I think see the O is literally about to stop, and so just to get these projects done, I'm gonna start doing some of my reading, and then I will come back on screen before we're done because I want to show. I think that's the really important part that people want to know is how can they make their own designs because it's not hard to do. While we're waiting, I can tell you that I need the shape to be the cut line. You know, the actual shape is the cut line, and I make a copy of it with a contour tool that's 1 millimeter on the outside of that, just a little bigger. But then if you want to add the capture stitch, because I think that's optional, I'm not using it on the yellow shirt over here, or in the whatever the color shirt, it's going to be the gray shirt, the Jesus shirt. We're not using it. But if you want to add a capture stitch, then you contour a second time towards the inside. And so we can kind of go over all that. So there, so it's all cut out and it's time for weeding. And so I'll just bring it over to the table here. I'm gonna move the ruler out of the way. And the tool that I use for my weeding is my tweezers. And they're both ready to go. So, whoa. The gray shirt that we're embroidering on, like I've lost visual sight of it. Is it because there's two gray shirts here? Yeah, it is. Nicholas, there's a gray shirt.
It's underneath the pink one.
It's there it is. Okay, because I was like, where are we doing? So I'm just gonna get closer to my project. There is a thread across here, and one here, and I'm gonna take those out. You know, that's simply because they were too close, and my machine didn't trim it. But now they're gone. And so basically here, if I just run see that, what I just did there? That makes the foam just fall off. Like, oh my goodness, so easy. Because right now, I mean, and it's not that it won't come off without it. So here, let's start taking it off. So here, see how easy it comes off? It's just coming off. And here I haven't done it and it's still coming off very easily. So I don't have to do these, but you'll find that with the bigger foam, especially, it helps. So see how that can you shoot that, or is it can they see that? It just kind of like and very important to get on a flat workspace and also to kind of support the I've got a nice cutaway. It's not bouncing. You definitely don't want to move your substrate here or your shirt. The second color won't line up. So that was easy to get that part off. But the smaller areas in here, and this is where I'm saying I've just noticed that if I just go around, try and see, I'm not really close enough to see real well myself right now, but and then you're gonna have to just pick a piece to start somewhere to get started, and yeah,
The tweezers are helpful.
they're not the most important thing, but if the foam stops coming, the tweezers are also very helpful for if there's any bits that don't come out, and you can get them later. So the foam tends to want to rip, right? So if you're not tearing against the run stitches, sometimes little bits get left. Can you see that bit right there? And I can just take it, afterwards. So that's where, yeah, little tweezers go a long way to kind of help and cut these out. So, and I'm trying to do it quick because, we're live and I don't want it to be too boring. And so I tried to pick samples that didn't have too many pieces to weed out because um, that is what I was worried about, was this part here. In fact, the Leo shirt, what we might do is we'll get this one back on the machine. The Leo shirt takes a little longer to weed out because of the tall stuff. And I want you to see me doing both. I wanted you to see me a little bit of both. So we'll kind of do up this Jesus one because I feel like we can literally have the shirt ready to go for the winter, like before. What's our time, Nick? Like, count me down. I mean, it's not like we have a hard stop at the top of the hour or anything, and everybody's going to run off on us. But if we do run over today, we try not to. But because we're making stuff, it's possible that we might want. But it doesn't take long. Like once I put the shirt on this and put it back on the machine, suddenly it's done, right? And so that's kind of the cool thing about it. Anyway, my instinct is just to do that extra little bit of kind of scoring on there. The one thing that you can see that gets challenging is when it's got like attached on both sides and you can't tear, it wants to rip because you don't have the leverage to tear against the stitches. So those are the spots where, it might just rip off like that. And now you're like, "Ugh." So I just keep using this little guy can help me get it all out. Pretty good. So we're 2/3 of the way through the Jesus, the weeding out the weeds in between the letters is what we're doing. Yeah, and so this the stabilizer is a key element. I did try using non-sticky stabilizer. First of all, we don't do spray stickies in Saskatoon here. It's Sunset Stitches, and I guess the reason is because I have Perfect Stick, and so why would I bother, with a spray sticky? I have a sticky cutaway, I have a sticky tearaway, and I have a sticky water dissolving, and so if I need sticky, I just get it out, and that's so. I'm not a fan of the spray stickies. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a skull and a crossbones on that can. And I think that means something about breathing it. And I remember being a kid growing up that we used to use a lot of spray adhesives. And it was never popular when we did because everybody would get a headache because of the smell of the stuff. And that, that's part of it. And that aerosol can, like, that doesn't get on anything, right? Like, remember the old hairspray? Like, that didn't get on anything, right? Like, you're literally spraying glue in your workspace. I don't want adhesive spraying around in my workspace, getting on my embroidery machine, for goodness sake. So I'm not a big fan of those adhesives. I'm not saying anything bad about it, and I probably would use them if I had to, but I really love the now, if you don't know about Perfect Stick, don't just get somebody sticky and think that you got it, okay? Floriani, let's be specific, Floriani Perfect Stick. It was Kay Brooks that figured out how to make a sticky that didn't make your machine get sticky. Because I remember back in the old days, we used to have alcohol wipes to clean our needles because the sticky would stick up the machine. And this, I never let you get a word into it, Lauren. This sticky stuff has silicone in it that actually lubricates while you sew through it. You don't ever get a sticky machine or a sticky bobbin case from doing this. So we're at the point now where
There's Leo.
we got to do the shirt. So where's the shirt that you said I had a shirt?
Nope, the one on the cutting
On
board.
the bird board here. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take it, fold it in half, and get it kind of like the center of the neckline. Now, I normally go, and I noticed when I did the yellow one that I hooped it a little bit lower than normal. So we're gonna go a little higher this time. I normally go. Oh, that's water. I got some water on the thing. Um, Look at my shirt. I normally go like 3 fingers below the line is kind of like my spot where I like to put them. So now that I've got my shirt kind of like a little bit of a finger crease down the center there, that's all I normally need. And I can just open this shirt up and kind of feed my hoop in there, trying not to stick it at this point, right? Let's just get it kind of close to in place. And so now I'm unable, of course, to see the hoop, right? You're like, well, where is the hoop? But what I can do is I can check, right? So I can look right here. I've got my center, and I'm like, yeah, there's the center of the hoop, right there. And so I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's on the center. And then I just bring this down to the bottom, and now I'm opening up the shirt to peek inside at where that center line is in my bottom of my hoop, right? And see, there's the line. So as long as I can get that line pretty close, I think the nice thing about this is the Jesus fish is not got a straight line in it. So it's a little bit forgiving, right? As long as you get it centered and more or less straight, I think that's the key here. So now here's the neckline. And so 3 fingers down I'm a little bit low. Can you see that? I'm going to be 4 fingers down right now. So I think that's what I might try to just bring it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So am I still in the center at the top? Yes. And then am I still in the center at the bottom? So just kind of checking after the shift, that I didn't shift and mess it up. And so there's the word. And so I think I'm kind of close enough. Now, I haven't pushed it down. I'm about to, but I want to find the word right here. Oh, there's the fish, right? And I'm going to start with that. And I'm going to squish in can you kind of see what's happening here?
Mm-hmm.
There's the fish, there's the outline, and I'm sticking it down. This is going to ensure that when you sew around it, that there's no moving, that the run stitch lines up perfectly. It makes it kind of really this very easy to do. And so this was the part for, oh, there's something in here. I don't know if it's under the hoop or if it's another shirt or if it's part of the shirt behind. Yeah, it was the shirt that was behind. So I want to make sure that when we put this on the machine, we want to be careful. Yeah, no, I don't have to like stick everything perfectly down, but the idea is to kind of depress the areas where they go down. So you can kind of start to see the word Jesus there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this one's ready to go. Let's get it on the machine, and then we're gonna talk about the thicker foam and how to weed that one out.
You pop
So
the arms out.
yeah, can you see how I just like got the little arms to come out here? I've got my machine in what's known as a free arm mode. So I've dropped the table, which is actually on the floor now, about to trip on it. So I'm gonna put it out of the way here. Sorry, looking at the top of my head. There we are. So I'm just gonna make sure that the neck hole kind of goes over the bobbin race there, and then feed on my arms like this. Yeah. All right, so before I push start, I'm gonna look inside the shirt, like with my hands, not so much with, and just make sure that there's no fabric down here that's gonna like getting underneath the hoop, and everything looks good to me. At this point, I think we're gonna keep the correct thread, and so I push start.
It's like the sewing machine is wearing the t-shirt.
Yeah. It is kind of like the machine is wearing the shirt. Anyhow, so that is sewing. Let's leave it sew for now. And actually, let's talk about the Leo. So to get the Leo out is the same as getting out the other one. I really like this. And see how I can get it in, and so I don't know how well you can film that, but I'm just going around it until I can. So it's like you start with an area that isn't cut, and then you pull into it. Does that make sense? This is trimmed nice, and I just take one more little, because you can almost feel like every needle point that it didn't cut between them. And I'm just trying to go around and give it that little cutout. Oh, careful, don't snip your foam out. So make sure you leave it in there is the main thing, right? It'll get all sewn in the shirt. But this little step, while it takes a moment, makes it much easier to remove this foam, because you'll find that the foam itself is very thick and it's very hard to remove. And so if I, for this area where I haven't cut it out, it's not coming, you know, and yet if I just do this, it's coming. So that's my trick for you guys, is to just to get a long pair, like, you know, this is the R&K precision angle tweezer. I know we sell them at all the events that I put on, and everybody who, you know, has them, they go hand in hand with this one. If you don't know, these are best friends, right? Because this is the
Yeah.
one that you pick the thread with. Like if you want to trim this little thread out here, you can get your scissor under it and lift it up. Then you use this to hold it. That way, when you snip this side, you still have resistance on the thread to snip the other side, right? They're best friend tools. But here I'm putting that friend down. We don't need you right now.
So
You can have
we're not using the scissors. We're using the tweezers.
tweezers, yeah. Thank you. Exactly. So, any comments or questions, Nicholas? We're getting Nicholas a microphone, by the way. We were talking about that the other day, and his audio needs to be part of it. So I don't know how we're gonna do that, though. He might have to be kind of Johnny on the spot to turn it on and off, because the micro, you know, we're all in the same space here, so it the microphones will conflict. So this is what I was saying. How's my time? Because I want to have some time to go back on my computer screen.
Yeah, 48.
So let's try and, you know what? I'm 2 of the 3 letters done now. Let's just get it done. So I'm almost there. And besides, these guys said they'd stick with me a few extra minutes today if I had to. But so you're welcome for the font. I know that you guys are going to appreciate it. But that said, I want to show you the sort of way to do the designing, because then anything could be done, like that Jesus that I did. I literally opened up a JPEG and clicked on the magic wand to like trace it, and then made the shape, the cut line, and then used my tool to create my offset for the border, and I was done. Like I think it,
Wow.
like from download to sewing was a couple of minutes. Like it was, oh, that was fast. But it took time to figure out the technique, right? Because I didn't know at first what settings I wanted to use. And if you guys know anything about me, I love to test stuff. Like I will sew it over and over and over. And I think several evenings I spent making those little tiny, I cut up a bunch of the kids' t-shirts and just was sewing it. I've also tested sweatshirts, works very well. My next test is going to be cork. I'm going to try. I'm pretty sure that cork will work well. It needs some stretch. I'll be honest, if there's no stretch to it, so I'm getting it out now. See, it just comes right out. If there's any threads that are like long and, you know, and annoying, just trim them out. No problem. Um, so it'll come off very easy. See how I push my finger against the foam just to protect it,
Yeah,
you know?
make sure it doesn't pop out.
Exactly. And that's where this is where the capture stitch, I think, is a little more important than like with the thinner foam. I don't have to be so forceful to get it out. But here it's like I gotta really work to get this stuff out. There. Poof.
Woo!
And it look, I know, like I said, we could have taken the needle out of the thread and it wouldn't have all that red hairy stuff in there. It's on the other side of the stabilizer, so you won't see it inside of your t-shirt. But do you have the shirt? So here's the shirt. All right, we already kind of finger pressed this one and got it ready to go. Our Jesus shirt is done already, by the way. It's finished and ready to go. I can kind of see the center of it. Can you see that still?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's put this in. So how high up in the does this go, kiddo?
I think you put the hoop. I think I would put the hoop right on the neckline,
Right up, like up higher?
because then it'll be 3 fingers. Okay.
Yeah. So where's that finger crease? It's hard to find it now. It's here, right here, right here. Yeah, see, I got it. And then that's the center. So I got to straighten it. I can see it's got a, I can feel it. It has like a, and we didn't do, the iron didn't stay for very long. There's the line right there. There's the line right there. I can feel them, a dot on it, right? So I'm just touching that. And I think that's kind of the center line. What do you think?
Perfect.
You like
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
You think it's going to be good enough?
yeah.
All right. It's going to be your new favorite summer shirt.
Yay!
Mhm. Okay, so once again, I'm trying to stick down all of the shirt. And with this taller foam, see what happens? It can almost like want to crease. And my experience is get rid of it, like don't, you still have the chance, right? To figure out how to spread this out. So before you go to the machine, get it all spread out like that. That helps out a lot. Now, in here, I think it's fine. It'll flatten those down pretty good. It's around the outside that it's like, see how it's just about the
Oh,
way that you have started. And if, coming two different directions, sometimes it just gets a bit of a buckle. And so you can get rid of all of them if you just take a moment to kind of crease them all. And the ones that are outside of it, like if it buckles out here, that's not going to get sewn in. That'll be gone when you trim the stabilizer, because that's the last thing we're going to do is trim out. And I don't know if you saw in the original photographs at the beginning, I removed pretty much all of it right from the inside. So there, Leo's ready to go. So now with the flatbed machine, what we have to do is we kind of have to create, a window, right? It can't be
right.
more like
Why Leo?
Oh, that's my name. I have two names.
Loren goes by Leo, and so I made it for them, and that is what it's Loren Leo Conkergood. But at school, everybody knows you by Leo, right? I mean, I call them Loren because it's your kid, so you always call them their little kid name. But everybody knows Loren is Leo. All of her friends. Okay, so I'm just trying to slide it under my needle, and then get it kind of back onto my machine. Now that it's there, and I could, because this shirt has quite a bit of fabric. It's not a teeny tiny one. I don't feel. I don't want to, I just want to make sure that it's not going to fall while I'm sewing. And so I'm just carefully checking it to make sure that there's no fabric underneath that I can't see. And okay, so I think we can.
Wait.
What's
Could
wrong?
can I have a purple thread instead of the red thread?
Come on, of course you changed your mind. That's your prerogative. It's your shirt.
Could you, should you pre-wash the garment? I think if it shrunk anyway, it would go screwball.
You can answer that. The person who asked that question, I didn't pre-wash the shirt, so I don't know if you should pre-wash the shirt. My instinct is that I don't think it's going to matter. It's going to be once it's sewn into there, if it shrinks, it's a stretchable shirt. It's still going to be inside of there. I don't know. I don't know an answer to that. But I washed the gray shirt and it didn't have any shrinkage or any. It looks just as nice as it did before I washed it, is what I'm trying to say. And the foam seems strong. I just have to auto thread that.
Woohoo!
Okay, and let's make sure that my foot set is high back at 5 and my thread is all on. Okay.
Wow.
Look at it, like you get really close. It's like it makes like it really. So that's where I find that little offset helps so very much. So before we go back on my computer, since this is done, and that is now sewing, we are. How do you like it?
Wow.
Yeah, here, couple threads to trim out. Maybe before I even start removing any stabilizer, I'll just take out those last little threads that I should have checked the design that it had thread trims in it because normally my machine would trim these out, but I didn't check it to see if they were turned on. Remember, I said it only took me 3 minutes to make it.
Mm.
Apparently, I should have taken a 4th minute and checked my thread trims. Okay, so no biggie. All trimmed up, right? Beautiful. Jesus t-shirt for somebody's going to win this. So what I'm going to do to remove this is I'm going to, sounds like you're, oh, it's just a new color. Oh, I want to check it. Oh, see that? I just wanted to make sure that the shirt didn't fall in. It's looking good, Leo.
Yay.
Okay, so what I'm saying here is I'll actually just turn it inside out.
Yes.
Remove the hoop like this.
And remember, if you comment hashtag emboss, you could win it.
That is how you can win this shirt.
This
Just
shirt.
type in hashtag embossed. Of course, that will be given away during the live. So if you're watching this later, don't bother putting in the hashtag embossed because we will have already given it away. Excuse me. But every comment, like, or share on the post does give you a chance to win a postcard. And
Yeah.
we are always happy when we see that somebody new has liked our Facebook page. I'm getting a bit of a mess. Here it is. This scissor is so awesome because of that bottom rounded edge there. I know that it's in one of the cool little scissor kits that R&K sells, but you can also just buy the scissor on its own. It's my favorite one for trimming, stabilizers on t-shirts because it stops you from ever poking into it. So what I did, I don't know if you saw me, was I removed the stabilizer and I can kind of see from the top that it's all off of it now.
Mhm.
And then basically I'm just going to snip to kind of get up to it. And because I've got this rounded bottom edge, I'm really not super worried about cutting my t-shirt because as long as it doesn't get folded and in between the blades, that would be different. But in terms of, how when you take a straight edge and you go like this and it keeps poking the t-shirt, and it's like poke, 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 poke. So you can trim this as close as you want to the stitching. I usually just leave a small edge, uh, like not for embossing, just in general. I trim my stabilizers away. I'm not going to be removing the parts on the inside, but I did with my letters here. That's what I'm saying. So I made sure that I cut between the letters. Like with these letters, I wanted them to be flexible. And when we do Leo, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut between the L. We're going to cut between the E. We're going to cut between the O. Does that make sense? So that
Yes.
and they become quite kind of like independent. And so if this t-shirt shrunk, I don't know. I think it would be the same. I don't know. It's never wrong to pre-wash. I would never discourage that. If your instinct is, I want to pre-wash that, do it. I don't think that's going to be a bad thing to do. But that said, I guess I just live on the edge a little bit.
Hey, Dad, what are the name of those scissors?
They are the trim scissors, the precision, no, something angled trim scissors. The word angled is in there. If you want to know, if you visit, and when I go back to my computer, I can also show you this. If you visit rnkdistributing.com, you can see all of the Floriani products, all the Quilter Select products. You could totally find this. You could even get the part number. Then when you went into your local store, you wouldn't have the part number for it. It's a Floriani product. I don't know if you can catch the name there in the reflection, but it says Floriani on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so moment of truth here. Hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to try on your shirt. I'll just pull it right over top of mine. But it's the Jesus shirt.
Wow.
How did I do?
It's awesome.
Nice. So somebody's going to win this in a moment. Leo's shirt is done. Let's take it off. What's that, Nick?
You just hit 1 hour.
We hit 1 hour. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this off and show what Leo's shirt looks like. We won't bother doing the finishing of it, but see how it's kind of like creased down here? But yet, when I release it from the stabilizer, so as we open it up and then remove the shirt from the stabilizer, all of that sort of tension on the front will go away, where the shirt was stuck down, and we'll end up with a nice kind of summery little shirt that says Leo. There's a thread to trim out here. Maybe something a little bit funny there. We can look at it, but yeah, turned out pretty cute.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, that's just a little thread to trim out.
All right, you
I'm
go.
gonna go back on my screen now, Nick. And so, can you switch that, make that happen? And then you guys can hear me again. What do you think? You want to win it? This is water, by the way. It came out of the iron. I saw it. I can feel it. It's water. It's a brand new shirt. I just bought. It's still got the tag on it, you guys. I'm going to take it off, and we're going to draw for it. So thank you so much to everybody that came live today and visited Sunset Stitches. I'm going to get you to share my screen again, Nicholas. Right? And pretty nice, eh? All right, you guys, let's go back onto my screen bigger again. This is the Jesus one that I did. And what I'm saying is I started out with a JPEG. It looks like, is it back here still? Yeah. There's the original artwork that I started with, right? It's just a black and white, pixelated kind of image. To make this into an embossed design, I need to make artwork. So if you have artwork, you're good to go. But without artwork, I either use my pencil and trace it, which is what I normally do. If you have really nice clip art like this, you could use the magic wand. If I just click on there, it will trace the outline. Because this is actually all one shape, it's all connected. It literally traced it all, like it's done. I don't know if you can see that here. Let's change the color. It made an outline, right? And that is the true shape of the edge of the artwork. So that shape would become your line that cuts out the foam. And in this case, I'm using a run stitch. So I convert it to a run stitch. And I set the stitch length to 0.5. And I click apply. Yeah, I made a bunch of them. And so I even have, when I click on the run stitch, if I right click on the run stitch tool, I have the 0.5 cut line, the 4mm tack down, and the 3mm bean at 3 it's the 3 ply bean at 3mm preset in the tool, so that when I'm making them, I can just pop them up. So here's the trick of this, right? When we clicked auto trace, it made the fish, but it treats it like it's all one thing. And to be able to add the outlines, I need to break that apart. It's right here. I click on break apart. And when I break it apart, I end up with individual pieces, right? So I have the outline of the fish as one piece, but then I have all of the individual, parts that are part of this. And the benefit of that is about doing the outlining, because I wanted to contour around the outside of the fish like this. This is the tool that does the contouring, and it can either go to the inside or the outside. So in this case, I'm going to make it go to the outside by 1mm. So whenever I'm doing my finishing stitch, I go to the outside by 1mm. So that stitch that we just made, I would change its color to a different color. And I kind of typically use the same, green is my cutting lines and red are my tack down lines and blue are my finishing lines, just so I kind of visually know which ones they are when I open a design. But the point here is it's a piece of artwork, that the software made. So I turn it into a run stitch, and it's a single run. I'm going to make it 3 instead of the 2.5. And on the run extra tab, I'm going to change it into a bean stitch. I could do 3 or 5 or 7 or 9. So now I have a really short sort of single stitch that comes first, and then a longer bean stitch that comes later. So see how short that first one is and how the longer bean stitch comes later. But the reason I broke up my artwork was because all the shapes on the inside need to have the rest of these shapes, not the outline of the fish, but from 17 to 23, those ones, they need to have the outline the opposite direction. You can use the contour tool. It's up here. It says contour. And like I said, contour can be the outside, or in this case, it's to the inside, right? Because the inside of these shapes is the outside of the overall shape, I guess. So, and again, 1mm to the inside. Yeah. And once again, that's all run stitch. And oh, here, undo, because I have everything selected, so it just converted. I don't want to change the original ones, but this new one that we just created here, I'll also make that the blue color. That's a finishing stitch, and I can just right click on here and say that's one of my bean 3-ply bean at 3 millimeters. So there, that's literally it. We went from JPEG, created the cut lines. So the cut lines, like I said, they're the 0.5 millimeter long single ply. And for the outline, I like the bean stitch. Loren, can you pass me that denim sample that's over there that says TC? The denim one I did a little something different. So Nick, can you bring me big again? Instead of using a bean stitch, I did what I call a sashiko stitch. Can you see that it looks like it's a dash stitch? So that is a special kind of bean. So if you don't, bean stitches are 3 plies or 5 plies or 7 because they go forward, back again, forward again. So forward, back, forward, 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 back, forward, 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 back, forward. Or you can do 5 times or 7 times or 9 times. But what this is a varying bean. So when I make a varying bean, I can do up to 6 variables. I could do a 3 followed by a 5, followed by a 7, and then a 9 and an 11. Back to 3 again, and then it'll go back to the beginning again. So it's that's kind of how it goes. So let me show you how I make. So this, I made a varying bean stitch with a long stitch followed by a really short. I did a 5-ply at 3 millimeters long, and then I did a 1-ply at 1 millimeter long. So the effect is the 5-ply looks very pronounced and the 1-ply looks not as noticeable. It's like a mock sashiko. So I'll show you how to do that. And if there's any questions, you guys can let me know. But Suzanne says, can we get those presents?
Presets.
What? Oh, presets. Well, I mean, I could share them, but didn't I just tell you what they were? Because do you know how? I'll also show you how to make one. Because yes, you can share them, but let me show you. So I've set this bean stitch here for around the fish, right? And it says it's a single run at 3 millimeters, but on the run extra, it's a bean at 3. Well, here, let's change it to 4. Let's do one at 4 and then click apply. So, and let's make it a 5-ply, so now I've got a 5-ply at 4, very different than what I had before. So now the run stitch, notice that I have this selected and I can see the settings, right? All those settings, that whatever they are, whatever is selected, if I right click on the tool and choose save preset, I can make this a bean 4 millimeters, no, a bean 5-ply at 4 millimeters and say, okay. So it's saved. And now all I have to do is click on the outline and come over here and right click and make it a bean 5-ply at 4 millimeters. And it'll match the inside. So, and if I want to reuse them again, it's as easy as that. So if you want to do text, and this will be the last thing I'll show, and I'm going to come on, we'll give away the prize. If I click on text and I click on, this is a tool here that will import true type font artwork, and it allows you to select any true type font artwork from your computer. You just scroll through and, find the one that you want to do. And so, I did kind of some block looking ones, but you could do a scripty one. There's no rules here. I'm just kind of looking through without picking one. Something that's a little bit more like here. I have no idea how that would turn out, but once I choose that Gloucester, I have a condensed option. I have an extra condensed oblique option. I got a condensed bold option, a condensed bold oblique. There's no right or wrong. It's just what you want. It's a slightly different version. So and now I'm going to make it say the word sunset. You could type in here, you know, Trevor or whatever you want. Sunset. I like it. Let's do it. So click on sunset. So there, I've got sunset. It's only 15 millimeters tall. I probably wouldn't try and do, you know, puff foam at that many millimeters tall. But if I make it bigger, what I might do, like, so just to make it easier for weeding, watch this trick. I'm going to take the T and bring it over here. And then I'm going to select everything again. And I'm going to use the alignment tool to align them to the top. And then I'm going to use the distribute tool to distribute them evenly. So it just kind of pushes a little bit more space in between them. Somehow visually everything looks okay, but now I feel like the S and the U are too far away from the N. You know, maybe I'll just like nudge them over with my nudging tool just a little bit until it visually looks good. But my kind of plan there was that I felt like, what am I trying to say? That if there's space in between, they weed out a little easier than if there's not. That's what I'm trying to say. So that said, I don't want to make it look unbalanced. So if you're happy with that, then you select it all. And I always make it, you know, the green color, and then right click and make it the cut line. So now I've got a cut line, and the S, the N, the U, E, the T, all of these letters don't have any holes. So I don't have any worries in terms of the contouring, because it's only the holes that you have to contour differently. So because there's no holes, when I click on the contour tool, I can just say to the outside. I don't have to, you know, do the opposite for the alternate ones. 1 millimeter to the outside, away you go. And so that's the one there. I'm going to make it a different color. So I usually pop up and go with like my periwinkle. And I can right click and make them be, let's do the 4 millimeter. Where is it? 4 millimeter. Oh, bean 5-ply at 4 millimeter. You know, so now we've got that as our outline. And pretty much that's it. You're ready to go to the machine. Pretty good, eh? So, okay, let's bring us back on again, Nicholas. Hey, guys. Look at Leo's shirt. Look at my shirt. Mine says R&K Distributing. This whole thing was made possible by the amazing products from R&K Distributing, you guys, because I didn't have to fuss with any spray adhesives. I had the sticky stuff to do it with. I used the sticky cutaway, so it made it easy. I didn't have to do 2 layers of stabilizer. And thank you, Donna. She says we have great shirts. Yeah, that's nice. And Sharon says, happy birthday, Loren.
Thank you.
And thanks, Nick, for helping us out today. Thank you. He gives a thumbs up, Mr. Shy over there. You guys, what do you think of the new technique? I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the font. Go ahead and visit our website, download it.
Giveaway.
Oh, I got a giveaway to give away. Can I have 1 more minute? Can you bring me back on screen again, Nicholas? Full screen. This is the font that you're going to download this week, you guys. First of all, if you go to our website, the sunsetstitches.com website, and you click on embroidery fonts, you will find that embroidery font number 18 is called Clean. And it is a font that includes all the numbers and capital letters already prepared at 4 inches with a tack down run stitch, with a cutting line, and with a bean run stitch. You could probably resize them a little bit, but that said, if you were going to resize them a lot, I would probably just start with the cutting line and make your own contours, because if you resize it, that's going to change the distance. If you made them 8 inches, that would double the distance of my extra, stitch around the outside. And I didn't test them that way, so I don't know. I'm just telling you, I used them at 4 inches. I think you could probably, I think what I said was should be good between 2 and 6 without doing any editing. But yeah, if you want to get it, you just.
If it's soft on the inside, Loren, or whatever.
Soft like the stabilizer?
Yeah.
Yes, it's very soft.
The stabilizer is soft, but the puff foam definitely
The
puts
puff
like a bit of a
foam-
knock. Or we're not on screen right now; they can't see us. You got to bring us back on screen if we're going to talk about the stuff, Nick. Yeah, like it's and mine. Like I don't want to show off my hairy chest, but mine has like the shirt. You know, you can see the stabilizer underneath the lettering. It's very soft, you guys. Perfect Stick Cutaway is my favorite stabilizer for doing shirts, like bar none. If they're really light embroidery, maybe I'd go with the tearaway one.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, bring my software back on. I just wanted to show where you get it. So first of all, when you go to Sunset Stitches and you download it, what you're going to be downloading is an asset file, but it's not the same kind as every other week. No, under Tools drop-down menu, we have the option to do import assets, and we also have the option to do import designs. This week, they're designs. This is not an actual font. What I sent you is a folder in your, so it's going to come up in here called Clean Embossed Letters, and they will look like this, you know, and you will drag them in. You won't type out, you know, Leo, you'll grab your L and bring it in. You can do it yourself. If you want to use my pre-made font, because there's 3 colors, I have to find the L, find the E, find the O, bring them on screen, you know, arrange them. So put the L over here, put the O over there, select all that stuff, use my alignment tool, align them to the bottoms, use my distribute tool, make them equally balanced, and you're ready to go. Send it to the machine. Yeah. Or if you want to resize it, like what I'm saying is you can resize it, but if you resize it a lot, it's going to change the relationship of these distances that I've put together. And if you want to make a big size change, do it yourself, you know, and it's very easy to do yourself. So thank you so much. So we've got a shirt to give away. Whoever wins it, just get us your email address. I'm going to be traveling in a week and a half. I think I'll bring it with me and ship it on the other side of the border, unless a Canadian wins it. That way I don't have to deal with customs, right? I'll just bring it in and stick it in a package that way. I think it'll go a lot smoother than trying to figure out how to get it across the border. Customs are funny that way. So how do we do the winner, Nick?
Just click a button.
Nick's got it. He's got a button. So hold on.
How do I share?
Oh, you're going to share your screen? Is that how you did it?
Well, remember I did that one time.
You have to say present.
Present on what?
I can't see the bottom of your menu. There's something missing from your menu. Is there a bottom? Can you scroll?
I can't.
Scroll up.
Oh.
There, present. It's in the middle.
Make sure you present just the one page.
I know.
Say window. No. Oh, I see. Yeah, I see. All right, Nick's got it coming.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see it, Nick. Yeah, it says hashtag emboss. So here we go. Who wins the shirt? Everybody's in the draw. Thank you so much for coming today, guys. It was great having you guys. I really appreciate everybody. The winner, Celine Ross. That's my friend from Canada.
Yay!
It's going to Canada, you guys. It's Celine Ross.
Yay!
Bonjour, Celine. I didn't know you were here, madame. But she is my wonderful friend, as you all know, from Montreal, Canada. And so I know that she will love the Jesus shirt. That's wonderful. So I know your address, Celine. You don't even have to send that to me. I already have it. Did you guys see Celine was with me for my birthday party when I turned 56? She came and joined for my live stream that day. If you don't know, Celine is a genome educator and a very popular YouTube presenter, and she owns a sewing school in Montreal, Canada called École de Couture.
Yes.
Anyway, she's been my friend for a very long time. And you won a shirt, Celine. Congratulations. How wonderful is that? Anyhow, I wish you guys could all have a shirt today. But you'll what I will say is one last thing. I'm going to add all of my photographs on my technique on how to do this. So yes, I shared the font, but if you come back to the website and let's maybe give till Monday or something, I will do a page for on our website, and we'll call it an embroidery recipe box page, and I'll do an email and a Facebook post about it. But the point is, I'll make the steps. So if you're like wanting to kind of remember any of them, but it's pretty straightforward, really. Hoop up your sticky, stick your foam on it, sew your cutting stitches, weed out all the extra foam, and then put your fabric over top and back to the machine. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, guys, so great to see you. I hope you enjoyed today. If you ever need to reach me for questions and it's after our lives, you're always welcome to email me, Trevor at Sunset Stitches. But thank you so much, Loren, for helping me do this.
Thank you for the shirt.
Did you guys like the camera work? That was pretty good. I don't know. We don't normally go all
Never
around.
done that.
Maybe we'll do a lot more of that. You know,
Yeah.
we do a lot of embroidery around here. So thank you, Nicolas, for helping man the cameras today. And I thank you for the font, but I made it, so I'm not thanking him for the font. Normally Nick made the font, so I got to thank him for the font. So anyway, if you're just new here and you don't know, we do have an embroidery club. We're on season 2 of our embroidery club. You're welcome to join. And I have my Floriani classes, my FTCU workshop. You're certainly welcome to ask me questions if you want to know anything about that. But outside of that, you guys, I'm super excited. I'm going to Cleveland, Ohio, on behalf of Floriani and RNK Distributing to visit Pins and Needles. Yeah, and we're going to do posts, patches and postcards while I'm there.
Woo.
And so it's going to be a fun time. Whew, we did it.
Woo.
All right, it's Friday, you guys. Hope you have a great weekend. Until next time,
Bye.
bye for now.